What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB postseason recap. We have some drama to talk about today, and I'm not talking about Game 2 of the World Series. Marcus Stroman called out the Yankees pitching staff, and it was actually kind of funny. So if you're a Yankees fan, you're going to want to stick around until the later half of the video, because we'll talk about the Stroman situation after we highlight game number 2 of the Dodgers versus the Rays. Now, I predicted that game number 2 would also go to the Dodgers, and I was wrong. That was Brandon Lowe's best game of his career, in my opinion, considering the stakes and how terrible he's been thus far in the postseason. Since game number 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays way back in the wild card series, he's not even hitting 200. He's been awful. But yesterday, he kind of turned it around. He had 2 bombs, as well as his buddy Joey Wendell. They combined for every single run batted in that game. You had Brandon Lowe leading the way with 3 RBIs. Joey Wendell came in clutch with 3 RBIs of his own. Now remember, it's not Brandon Lowe. I want to make sure that you guys get it right, because I got it wrong way back when I first discovered this kid. It's Brandon Lowe, not Lowe like the department store, Brandon Lowe. So now that we got that covered, I was completely wrong. I thought that this game was going to be started by Walker Buehler. I got that wrong. Unfortunately, it was Tony Gonsolin, and then the rest of the Dodgers pitching staff, they just could not contain Joey Wendell and Brandon Lowe. I will say that, Blake Snell was pretty good. He was striking people out left and right. He goes 4 2/3 innings, only allows 2 hits. He allows 2 earned runs, but he strikes out 9 Dodgers in less than 5 innings, which is pretty crazy. He was on his game. He did that in 88 pitches. So I'm thinking they made sure that Tyler Glasnow left nothing in the tank. He threw 115 something pitches. Blake Snell, they kept him under 100. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and bring back Blake Snell on short notice, and then because Glasnow threw so many pitches, he's going to end up being a long relief pitcher. I'm not sure, but that's just how it feels they're setting it up going forward. But I just have to tip my cap to the Tampa Bay Rays. I went to the bank this morning, and the teller was a Dodgers fan. He thought it was going to be a 4-game sweep. Now, I would never say that the Rays are not going to win a single game in a 4-game series. That's just never going to happen, because he wasn't a huge baseball fan. He's from LA. He's more of a Lakers fan. Maybe, I don't know, there's a lot. I'm not going to say you're bandwagons, but it seems like a lot of people don't care about the Dodgers until they make the playoffs. That could just be me. That could be blasphemy. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I do have to give the benefit of the doubt to the Rays. They proved me wrong. So now we have a even series, 1-1. So there's not going to be any game today, October 22nd. So we have a bunch of time to predict who is going to win game number 3. Let me know in the comment section down below. I predicted the Rays to win game number 3, so if everything is going off my predictions, the Dodgers will be down 2-1 after the Rays win tomorrow. But then again, I said that Walker Buehler was going to win in game number 2, but now he's pitching in game number 3. So my predictions, they're pretty much a wash at this point. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is Corey Seager made Major League Baseball history yesterday at his position. With his 7th home run in the postseason in the 9th inning yesterday, he sets the all-time mark for most home runs in a single playoffs by a shortstop with 7. Honestly, before the season, I said that the only way that Francisco Lindor would be traded is if we got Corey Seager back in return. That is never going to happen, because if we're talking about the best shortstop, the best hitting shortstop in baseball right now, it's no longer Francisco Lindor. Corey Seager has been the best offensive shortstop since day 1 of the 2020 season. I didn't really believe in him because even though he had a ton of doubles in 2019, he wasn't having that prodigious power that he showed in his rookie season. So I was a little bit skeptical as to how that was going to work, but he shut me up. Corey Seager is playing out of his mind right now, and he sets the all-time mark. So that is game number 2. Brandon Lowe goes off. Blake Snell is striking out people. Like, he must think that they're pumpkins, and he's carving them up on Halloween. He's really in the spirit of October. And then Joey Wendell picks up the pieces, drives in 3 RBIs. So the series is neck and neck, 1-1. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and move on to some drama. I know that you guys always love this. I don't know exactly why this had to happen, but Marcus Stroman, let me go ahead and pull up on Twitter. Marcus Stroman pretty much dissed the entire Yankees franchise. So if we take a look at this quote, now remember, this is directly from Marcus Stroman. A couple years ago, Brian Cashman said that Marcus Stroman, he's really not all that great. He would add no value to the Yankees franchise. So maybe there's some vindictiveness in this tweet. Marcus Stroman said, besides Garrett Cole, there's no current Yankee pitcher who will be anywhere in my league over the next 5 to 7 years. Their pitching always folds in the end. That lineup and payroll should be winning World Series left and right, yet they're in a drought. Period. LOL. What are you going to do about it? So I want you all to let me know, what do you make of this quote? Because besides Garrett Cole, who do the Yankees have? They have James Paxton, who actually isn't too bad. If you go to Luis Severino, I think that Luis Severino is better than Marcus Stroman. Maybe that's blasphemy, but I would say if you look at the stats, I think that Severino is a little bit nastier, and maybe he's not as consistent, but I think going forward, I would take Severino over Marcus Stroman. And then if you look at their developing players, you have Deivi Garcia, who was a rookie this year and actually performed fairly decent, and then Clark Schmidt, he's on the rise as well. So if we're talking 5 to 7 years, that is a very bold statement from Marcus Stroman to say, I am going to be better than Luis Severino, James Paxton, Deivi Garcia, and Clark Schmidt. And I like Clark Schmidt. I know he was roughed up a little bit this year, but that's just when you're a rookie, it's almost expected. So let me know, whose side are you on? Are you on the side of Marcus Stroman, saying that even if he went to the Yankees, he would be their number 2 starter for the next 5 to 7 years? Or do you think that those other guys on the Yankees squad are going to read this and think, you know what? We're not going to let you get away with that. And then they're going to come out in 2021 throwing absolute darts, just shutting up Marcus Stroman and the rest of the baseball community that thinks past Garrett Cole, the Yankees do not have a pitching staff. I mean, even Masahiro Tanaka, I know he wasn't great in the postseason, but he's not bad. He's not horrible. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Unfortunately, there will not be a recap tomorrow because there's no games being played, but I'm still going to come out with a pretty awesome video. Not be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
The barrel of the bat comes back at Roger Clemens, and he fires.
And fired into foul territory near Piazza. Obviously, Piazza didn't mean to do that. My gosh, that's a blatant act. Foolish, foolish.
That is fans know him. 4 hits, 2 home runs. And he hits me, and here goes one into left. How about 3 on the night in a row? A 3-run shot, a 2-run home run, and now a solo blast.